So here are some responses that may be appropriate for your hotel. First of all, the hotel is, it should be pointed out that the hotel is already serving the gay and lesbian guests. It's estimated that 5 to 7% of the U.S. population and about 10% or more of the tourism and hospitality population is gay or lesbian. So even if you do nothing, chances are you're already serving LGBT guests, and it's important to do the diversity training. But you might also want to point out that there could be a decision to outreach to the LGBT community because it's a business decision that because of what your hotel is, it might make sense for you to outreach to the LGBT community. So there may be geographic reasons, like say here in San Francisco, we get so many gay and lesbian tourists, it would really make sense for any hotel not to have an active gay and lesbian program. Your hotel might be very popular with dinks, gay or straight. People who are dual income, no kids may be the most important segment for your particular hotel. And the reality is that gays and lesbians, although this is changing, tend to be dual income, no kids. So it makes sense for you to have an outreach program to serve dual income, no kids, and the gay and lesbian community is part of that. It might be a part of a community-wide effort. There are many, many cities out there that have very large active gay and lesbian outreach programs that are being sponsored by your local tourism bureau. And they're asking for many of the hotels to get involved in that effort. So it may really be a community-wide effort to attract the gay and lesbian community. Hotels may attract the creative class, and there's been a lot of research to show that gays and lesbians tend to be in jobs that are a little bit more part of the creative class. So maybe your hotel attracts the design industry or the clothing industry or some of these other industries that gays and lesbians tend to be overrepresented in their employment. Then it would make sense. And there may be many other reasons why your hotel may want to market to the gay and lesbian community. The point is, though, is that to market to the LGBT community, it is not necessarily right for every hotel. I mean, I think there's a lot, if not the majority of hotels out there, that it makes sense to have an active gay and lesbian marketing strategy. But for some hotels, it might not. And it may be just a matter of budget, that for many hotels, the best they can do is general marketing and maybe pick 3 of the top niche markets that make sense for their hotel. And for many hotels, the gay and lesbian market is that top 3 niche. But for other hotels, it might not be. Doesn't mean that you don't want gay and lesbian guests. It just means it's not your top 3 priorities. So even if it's not your top 3 priorities, it still might make sense to do some basic gay and lesbian diversity training because already, as I said before, chances are gays and lesbians are staying in your hotel, but your marketing efforts might be a little bit different. I also want to go back to one of those other questions I brought up in the last slide is, what if somebody stands up and says, well, great, you're doing the gay and lesbian community as a marketing strategy, but what about my community, whatever that means for them? So just to throw out for an example, say they're with the Latino community, and they say, well, why don't you outreach to the Latino community too? I would like my community to be represented. I think your response really needs to be, great. You have an employee there that might be really enthusiastic about helping you outreach to their community. So I think the response there should be, that's really good. Let's talk about it. Why don't you come to my office after the training and let's talk about how we can outreach to your community. I think you need to be open about that because if you have a group of employees that are enthusiastic about wanting to outreach and do marketing for you, you should run with it. It makes sense. So I think sometimes when you start outreaching to the LGBT market, it opens up a whole lot of other niche possibilities for you. All right, this next section is that during diversity training, it can be helpful to show examples of LGBT outreach campaigns from other companies and competitors. And the reason that we often do this in diversity training is, well, first of all, it's fun. Sometimes diversity training can be really, really heavy sometimes or can feel heavy. And bringing in some creative ideas sometimes can sort of lighten the mood a little bit. But it also has other implications when you start doing or showing the ads of your competitors or other people. And I'll go through this as we go on. So here's an example. Here's an ad from Hyatt Hotels. Actually, we do a lot of focus grouping here at Community Marketing, and this is one of the best rated ads I've ever seen for a hotel chain. And I think sometimes just when you're doing diversity training, showing ads like this, what it does is, for example, this ad, it shows that you're not alone. I mean, here's Hyatt Resorts, one of the most major hotel groups out there, and they're active in the gay and lesbian market. So it lets your employees know that you're not alone in outreaching to this market. I think another thing that's nice about this is it shows gay couples embracing And for some communities that might be at your hotel, it might not be that common for them to have seen pictures of gays and lesbians embracing. I think that's changing with what's happening in television and movies lately. But still, for some people, some older people, if I stereotype a little bit, they're just not used to seeing gay and lesbian couples embracing. And showing ads like this is a good thing, I think, and just sort of lightening the mood and talking about it. Here's another example from Kimpton Hotels. And I think the nice thing about this ad is it's showing a lot of cultural diversity or ethnic diversity. And again, I think this is a really good thing to be showing gays and lesbians of different ethnicities. I think, again, is very helpful within your diversity training, because hopefully you're talking, about diversity beyond just, sexual orientation. You're talking about diversity and a wide range of diversities, and an ad like this shows gay and lesbian in the context of other diversity. Here's a fun ad from Paris, Las Vegas. Again, really cute ad that you can just show people that I think people really like this ad, and they think it's funny and they laugh. And that's part of having graphics like this in a diversity training. Really lightens the mood a little bit, but I think a really nice concept from Paris, Las Vegas. Here's an ad, not from a hotel, but from Bloomington, Indiana. And I think the nice reason to show an ad like this in the diversity training is it really shows that it's not just, big corporations or big cities that are outreaching to the LGBT community. Small corporations and small destinations are also outreaching. And here's an example from Bloomington, Indiana. Here's an ad from the Convention and Visitors Bureau of Phoenix. And I think the nice thing about this ad is this whole concept of the headline, open air and open-minded. We're trying to be open-minded in our ability to serve guests here and creating a welcoming atmosphere. So again, I think showing this ad really sort of strengthens that message. Here is an ad from Travelocity. And I think the nice thing to show about this ad is that it's really emphasizing that a lot of the suppliers that are booking your hotel, like Travelocity, like Orbitz, are extremely active in the gay and lesbian market. So pointing that out to all your staff might be a good idea. So again, I'll go back to the last ad. Is that I think the reason that we show ads like this is that again, I just think it's a fun thing to do in your diversity training, and you can demonstrate points by showing ads. All right, moving on to diversity training, gay-friendly space is gay-safe space. And I can't stress this enough, is that as we do research in the gay and lesbian market, one thing that we really come to see is that gays and lesbians, one of the key components of where they select hotels, where they select their destinations, is this concept of safety. The reality is that most gays and lesbians have experienced verbal, emotional, or even sometimes physical assault because of their sexual orientation at various times in their life. Now, most gays and lesbians haven't been gay bashed or beat up, but almost all gays and lesbians hear the gay jokes almost constantly. I mean, almost weekly you hear a gay joke. And sometimes gay jokes can be funny, and sometimes they can be a little biting, to tell you the truth. So your hotel should be viewed as a place where the guest does not need to worry about discrimination. Even verbal discrimination like gay jokes from the staff and other guests. So when I look at a gay safe space, it's not just about physical assault, which I would hope would never happen in any of your hotels, but people doing verbal assaults, even gentle verbal assaults through gay jokes, is super common, and it's something that you really need to look